Hi everybody, in this video I'm going to talk about using Camtasia to editing your videos for your online course. Now, I know that most people don't have Camtasia and I'm not going to recommend you to purchase it because it's quite expensive. However, if you already have it on your computer, I do recommend using it because it's a great software, it's really easy to use, it has great quality and you can do almost everything with it. So if you already have it on your computer or your spouse have it, I do recommend it. If you don't have it, don't go ahead and purchase it. You can use free software that you can find easily online, and I have a few videos explaining about that as well. So without further ado, let's start talking about editing your videos using Camtasia. Okay, so what you can see here on the screen is Camtasia Interface, and you can see here all the different settings and features and menus. And before we start, what I want to tell you is that the main goal of this video is not to turn you into Camtasia specialists. After watching this video, you are not going to become a specialist, and there are many other videos and tutorials about Camtasia that are far better than this one. However, my main goal and my main focus is how to take Camtasia and use it to make your online course amazing. This is our main goal and our main focus, and this is exactly what I want to show you in this video. Okay, so now that we understand that we are not aiming for perfection, let's start understanding how Camtasia works and how we can work with it. So basically, the first thing that I want to show you is how Camtasia is built and how we can use the different elements here to create amazing video. So first of all, you can see the main video screen here, where you can see the videos that you are editing. Here on the left side, we have the modify menu, which is the most important thing on Camtasia, because here you can add all kind of elements to your videos and you are going to do lots of editing using the modifications here. So I'm going to really focus on that. Now on the top left, we have the regular main menu that we have in any other software as well. I'm going to show you different things in this menu afterwards. And now down below here, this is the most important thing you can say. This is your timeline, where you can see the different parts of your video, the audio. You can see the different elements that you already added to your video here. And here on the top right, you can see another menu that I don't use all that much, but I'm going to show you this as well. So first of all, let's start by talking about this menu, which is a very important and the most important thing in Camtasia. Here we have the different elements that we can add to our video and we can use to edit our video, basically. So the first thing here is the media. And the media is where you can add your own videos, your own different audio, graphics, photos, whatever element that you want to add to your video. So let's say we want to add a video to our media library. So what we can do here is click the plus button, import media, and just import the media that you want. It can be audio, it can be different graphics, and so on. Now, after we import something here, what we need to do to be able to use it in our video is to drag it into the timeline. So basically, the fact that it's inside the library doesn't help you. What you need to do is to always drag it to your timeline. And it's really simple. You basically select it and just drag it to the timeline here. And then you can use it. I already have this video inside this project, so I'm going to just delete it. But you can see what I mean, that if you want to add something to your video, you need to take it and drag it into your timeline. It will not be added automatically to your video. Now, this is about the media. Here we have annotations, which are all kind of arrows, headings, titles, many other useful things that we can add to our videos. And basically, when you are creating a video for your online course, this is something that is actually very important and efficient. If you want to explain people how to do things, many times it's much easier for them to also see what you're talking about on the screen and actually be able to read what you're talking about. It can be very, very helpful. So this is something that I'm using a lot and I'm sure that you're going to use a lot. We also have here arrows and other elements that we can add to our videos. Some of them are more helpful, other I don't use all that much. Now here we have transitions, which I don't use at all kind of transitions between different parts of your videos. It's something that is quite artistic and you can use it if you want to, but I don't think you really have to mess with all this stuff when you are, creating a video for your online course. Now here we have the behaviors. Again, I'm not going to use it. These are all kinds of different animations for your headlines and so on. Here we have animations as well. I'm not using it. It's not that helpful when it comes to creating videos for your online course. But if you are creating something for YouTube, for example, this is a different case, because here it can make your video look very enticing. But when you are creating video for your online course, you don't necessarily want to distract people with all kind of animations and effects, so I'm not going to go over this. Here is the cursor effect, and this is actually very helpful because you can use it to make your cursor look bright, to highlight things and things like that. So it can be actually very useful, and I many times do use it, especially when I demonstrate something on my screen. Now here is a voice narration, something that I rarely use. Here are audio effects, which can be useful if you want to use the clip speed, if you want to speed up things, the leveling. I'm doing it in a different software, but it can be helpful, fade out, fade in if you want. And now here are the visual effects. Again, it can be useful actually because you can use it to correct your colors, to do color adjustment, to remove a color, to change all kind of things inside your video. If your video does not look good enough, it can be helpful from time to time. Here is interactivity, which I never used, but you can add all kind of quizzes and things like that, and captions. So the things that I use the most is the media and annotations, to tell you the truth. Okay, so let's say I want to use one of these two. I want to use the media or annotations or any other element here. So what I need to do is basically drag them into the timeline or into the screen. So first of all, I already showed you how to drag the media, but I'm going to show you this again. Basically, I'm just dragging it where I want it to be added. And another thing I can do, first of all, if I want to delete it, I need to right click and just do delete. And if I want to add it even easier, I can just drag it into the screen, but I have to mark where I want to add it here and just add it into the screen. And it will be added as well. I usually rather add it to my timeline because then I can see more accurately where it was added to. But you can do it both ways. And again, I'm going to right click and delete it. Now, if I want to add annotations, all kind of headlines, titles, and other things, callouts, what I can do is just go to annotations. And then what I can do is take an annotation that I want. Here they call it callout. So I'll just take the callout and drag it to the screen where I want it to be added. So I'm just marking or finding, first of all, the place where I want to add it, the exact place. And then what I need to do is to drag it into the screen. Here I usually rather drag it into the screen and not into the timeline because it's easier to see what I'm doing. And I can play with the size. I can play here on the right menu with the different elements of the design of this. So first of all, I can change what's written inside. Just double click and start editing. But I can also edit how it looks. So basically to do it, I need to click here, the annotation properties. And then I can work with the thickness of the frame. I can work with the opacity. I can work with the color and many other things. I don't use it all that much. I mean, I don't play with that. But sometimes you want to add all kind of small things to your video. And this is very, very helpful. Now, again, to delete it, you need to right click and just delete. Now, another thing to understand after adding all kind of elements to our videos is that we can use a timeline to further edit them. For example, let's say that I add some kind of annotation to my video here. So it's added to the timeline as well. And here I can play with its duration, for example, because now it appears for a very short period of time and people don't have enough time to actually read what I write here. So I want to drag it here to make it appear for a longer duration. For example, another thing I can do is I can play with the time that it appears. So I can decide that it appears on this part of the video or on this part, and that it's longer or shorter. So you can play with that a little bit in your timeline. And also there are many other things that you can do in your timeline, and I'm going to demonstrate them in a very short time. But before that, I just want to talk a little bit more about other things here. As I told you, I'm not using all these effects and so on. But if you do want to use all kind of things, you need to understand that they are not added exactly as the same way as the annotation and media are added. So for example, let's say that I want to add visual effect and I want to do colorize. I want to colorize my video, for example. Now you might be asking yourself, why would anybody want to do that? But I just want to demonstrate. So let's say I want to add it. So what I'll do is just select the visual part of the video, because here you can see the audio part, and I'm going to select the visual part, and then I can do colorize and I can just drag it to the part where I want it to be colorized, and then it's colorized in green. I mean, most people won't need anything like that, but if you need and if you want to play with that, you can do it. And if you want to remove it, you can just go and do undo. That's what I'm doing when I want to remove all kind of things here. The same thing goes with color adjustment. I'm just selecting the part where I want to adjust the color. I take the color adjustment and I just drag it to the part where I want to add it. And now I can adjust all kind of things in the color here. Probably the opacity, the scale I see I can play with, brightness, contrast, saturation, things like that. Now I don't recommend playing with that all too much. And if you want to further investigate this and do some research of your own on how to use all the different elements, you are more than welcome to do it. But to tell you the truth, like I said before, you should definitely focus on media and annotations, because these are the two things that you're really going to need. All the others are just special effects, and when you are creating your videos, you don't need to focus on making your video special effect video. You just need to focus on making it clear and good and interesting. Okay, so now let's look at the timeline itself. Now we can use it to edit our video. So let's say we want to cut something out of the video, and first of all I just do save. So I'm doing Control S before I'm playing with that. And now let's say I want to cut the end of the video. So I just put the marker or the cursor, whatever they call it, and then I can just mark or select the parts that I want to remove. So I need to drag either part of the cursor to do it. And then after dragging it, I can do right click and delete, or I can just click delete, backspace, and it will be deleted. Now, of course, when I want to undo things, I'm going here to the left side of the screen and I just click undo, or do Control Z, it works just as well. And if you want to split parts of your videos, what you can do is, again, and sometimes it separates, so I need to bring it back. Let's say I just want to split my video here. What I can do is just right click, put it where I want to split, right click, and it will say split all. So I just click it and it splits the video. And again, I don't want it to be splitted, so I'll do undo, but you understand the thing. When it's split, you can just move it to another place on your timeline. And again, I have here all kind of parts to the video. I recorded it in different parts. So what I can do is just move the different parts, select them and move them to different area, change their order. I can change the order of the annotations. Whatever I want. I can play with the timeline to achieve all kind of things in my video. So it's a very useful and very powerful tool that you should definitely explore, and you need to play with that. You won't learn by looking at me doing it, and it's very simple. It's something that is actually quite intuitive, the timeline here. And after checking timelines of many different apps and all kind of software, I can tell you that Camtasia is one of the best pieces of software to use when it comes to editing your timeline. So it's really, really easy to work with in comparison to other options out there. So basically, this is about the timeline. Now, the last thing that I want to show you is how to share your video, how to save your video. So basically, let's say that I want to save my video. What I can do is go to File and Save, or Save As, and just save it like I'm saving any other thing, and it will save it as an original file of Camtasia. But let's say I want to import it, I want to put it on YouTube or whatever. What can I do? So now basically you need to do share. So you go to the share button here, and to tell you the truth, the best option here is to share it into your local file. This is the easiest and the best thing. It will be on your computer, and you can always upload it to wherever you want. If you try and upload it to YouTube or Vimeo or whatever, it doesn't always work. And also, it's not saved on your computer, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, to tell you the truth, the best way is to go for local file. And I just ignore. I just go to OK. Now, I'm not going to custom production settings because it's going to give me lots of settings that I don't need. So here what I want to save is MP3 only, and I want to do it in high resolution up to a 1080. It's kind of important because you want its quality to be the best. Because many people do watch their videos and their online courses on their personal computer and not on their smartphone, because it's easier to follow along when it comes to courses. So you do want to have it in higher quality, and you want to do it like that. So I'm just clicking the MP3, I'm going to next, and then finish, and you can here browse and select the right folder where you want to save your video. And this is very important. You don't want to save it in a very low quality. You don't want to upload it in a low quality. Sometimes you might need it in a lower quality, so it's fine. But if you want to upload it to YouTube, for example, you do want it in a higher quality, and the highest quality you can. So basically that's it to this video. That's what I wanted to show you when it comes to editing your videos for your online course. And again, like I said, from the start, you don't need to aim for perfection. You only need to aim for something that will be good enough and that you give people great content. The most important thing in any online course videos is that the content is great. If the content is not good, it won't work anyway. So you need to aim for great content. You don't need to work too much and make your video perfect and so on. People don't care about that. As long as the audio is good enough, then it can work just fine. So thank you very much for watching this video, and until the next video, goodbye.